everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art, and today is review day. Yay! Today we're going to be working with some new alcohol based markers. So I have and hopefully you guys can hear me right, because right now I'm in the process of getting my new studio put up. So I'm actually going to be moving from this area into my new studio, and so been busy working all day and haven't really had a whole bunch of time to be doing a lot of art. I mean, I've been working on little bits here and there, but not as much as what I sit down and do. So I ended up picking up some alcohol based markers. So instead of doing like the inks like I was doing before with the Faber-Castell, I've done reviews on those. If you guys seen any of my past videos, it's really hard to, if you guys notice me kind of moving from one area to the another, it's because I got to remember that the camera is up there. So sorry about that. But yeah, I've done the reviews on the India inks that are more permanent, and I really, quite honestly, have never really done the alcohol markers, so I was kind of curious myself as being new to the markers. I mean, I've done the inks with the ink markers, but I haven't done anything alcohol based. So I went ahead and decided to pick me up some of the best, or at least from what I heard, the Copic markers are supposed to be like, from what I heard, are supposed to be really, really good. Like the best of the ones, or at least top of the line of the ones that are supposed to be good. And started looking at those, and if you guys have not just checked those out before, they're expensive. Very, very expensive. And I was like thinking, okay, they're alcohol markers and they're not light fast, so selling the work, you couldn't do it. I mean, it would not, the light fast quality on them, there is none. I mean, it would end up fading over time really, really quickly. So the only thing I could see is that if you wanted to make prints of these, then you can make prints, sell the prints, then they would last longer. Or if maybe you're doing like some sort of illustration work where you would still make prints of those, I mean, then yeah, that would definitely work. Plus I've heard that they blend and do all these fun things with blending, and they're really smooth and really nice and not like permanent like the India inks that I used, where you can see some of the brush strokes or how you lay things. You have to basically layer them out in order to kind of, you know, they don't really blend as well, is basically what I'm saying. So these are supposed to blend, but if you're dealing with stuff that you can't actually sell and you're paying such a high price for them, I was kind of curious on what thing would be, or what other brand would be a better choice that was very, very similar to the Copic, but yet a little cheaper. So I've looked through so many different brands, brands, and I looked at Dick Blick's brand, and theirs actually are pretty pricey also. So I was like, okay, which other ones? And then I went and I saw these, and I wanted to give them a try. And I kind of heard a little bit about them, you know, that they were good and they were similar. So I was like, okay, if they're similar to the Copic, I want to see how similar they are. If one feels different than the other, or if one is just doesn't blend as well. So I went ahead and got a bunch of the, here, I'll show you, the Ohuhu, I guess they call them, art markers. And these here are alcohol markers. So you want to get, in my, or at least my opinion, if you can't really sell your work, the originals, then I would probably much rather deal with a cheaper brand of marker, alcohol marker, than having to pay for an expensive brand if they both are very, very similar. So I kind of did some other research on these. So, or not just the Copic, because I know the Copic, you can get them in sets and packs. You can get them, they sell them by, you know, individually. So that way, if you run out of a color, you can go get another color. So I was like, okay, Well, that's nice. Or actually, they got replacement, like the replacement ink cartridges or whatever it is, the alcohol like thing inside. You can actually replace it. So they do have replacements for the colors if you run out. So I kind of looked into Ohuhu, I think that's how you call it, and they had also replacements for them, or at least not the ink cartridges, but you just replace the alcohol marker itself. So if you run out of this color, and they have it set up really weird on the website, it's kind of like you have the colors and you have the different colors, and it looks like it's a group of the like grays or greens and stuff like that. And I went ahead and clicked on it because I was like, there ain't, you know, there isn't a certain color. Like they have a lot more color ranges than what's listed on the website. So I went ahead and clicked underneath like red, you know, like a color red. And when I did, it pulled up a whole bunch of other different colors within that one color red. So I was like, oh, okay, so here they are. So I'm guessing that they kind of put some of these other colors that are in the same category within that. So, I mean, I really had to kind of, it wasn't really the most convenient way to get the colors, but I did find out that you can get some individual colors out of these. Now, they actually, Ohuhu, which by the way, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so this is all my own opinion. I went ahead and purchased all these products on my own, so they were not given to me or anything like that. But I went ahead and did some more research, and I really do like the Faber-Castell India ink markers. They have like the brush tip. So on this one here, of course, they have the brush tip. It's a little chunkier, but it's a little brush tip right here. No, it's wanting to focus. Oop. And then the other side, which you have to be careful of, because when you're looking for the packs of the Ohuhus, I've noticed that some of them will have the brush tip, and then the other side it'll have, like this one here I got is the like the fine tip. So I got the fine tip, and on the other side I got the brush. But they do come in brush and then the chisel on this side, which is kind of the same thing that, let me grab a Copic. And on the Copic I didn't see this, but they have the brush on the Copic, and on the other side they got the chisel. Okay, and I'm not the, I mean I guess I would have to play around with it more to see if I actually like having the chisel tip better. But in my thought, I'm like, okay, I like the fine tip. So they had options for that in the groups, like the group packs where you get the bigger packs. I keep on looking over here. I need to look over here. Sorry. But they had in the bigger packs, you can find the brush tip and fine tip. But if you go, but you have to really look closely because the packs look almost identical. So you really have to read on there that if you are going to purchase these, that you make sure that it does say fine tip, brush tip, and it doesn't say brush tip or chisel, because you just have to read into it and make sure before you check out that that's what it says, because that could be really easily missed. I mean, there's nothing different between the pictures. They look like the same. But anyways, I went ahead and got a big set of the Ohuhus. I think it was like 120. I think it was like 120 set is what I got of those. So I got plenty of them, but they were cheaper. So, I mean, I can do that. Now, if I were to do that with the Copic, I'd probably be spending a good like $400 or $500, maybe even more. And I've seen these go up, I mean, up over $1,000 just to buy a big old set of these markers that you cannot sell, or the only thing you could do is print or illustration. So I don't know, I guess it's just me, but we'll see on why these things are so special. I mean, they should actually draw the picture for you, right? At that price they should. Okay, so in this review, I'm going to go ahead and you see me have two different types of paper here. I went ahead and got the Ohuhu marker paper. It's spiral. My words are getting really hard here. It's spiral bound. It's acid free, which is always a good thing if you're trying to sell your work or anything. Just look for the acid free, so that way years down the road it doesn't turn yellow on you. So you always got to make sure of that. It's a heavyweight paper. It says, let me see here. This one here comes in 60 sheets. I got the 8x9. Well, it's basically an 8x8 inch paper. So it's like a square, 120 pounds. Now, inside here, it was completely wrapped in plastic. I went ahead and did some little test review a little bit on my own just because I was just super excited to try them. So I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot, okay? Because I didn't try some of the blenders and do all that stuff. So I just kind of doodled a little bit. So excuse this. Okay, so I went ahead and tried this and I was just doodling. But inside, as you can tell, it bleeds through on the paper. So you do have some bleed through. Cool thing is that Ohuhu inside will give you this nice little square sheet of plastic. It's like really super soft plastic. I mean, super soft, like rubbery, like plastic. I don't know, could be a mouse pad. And I think I hear my son in there making a bunch of noise, so excuse the noise if you hear anything. But anyways, they give you this so that way you can put inside on the next sheet that you're going to be, or at least if you were going to draw on this one, you put the plastic underneath of it, put that on top, and then you do your stuff so that way it doesn't get onto the next paper. So they did kind of help out with that by putting that in there. That was really nice of them. So we're going to end up doing our review on this paper, and then whenever I go to do a speed drawing for you guys, just kind of trying out the Copic. Actually, I'm going to be trying out the Ohuhu because that's the ones that we really want to see. We're wanting to see if we can find something that's just about the same as Copic, if not equal to Copic, and if you know how it works as far as doing it like a picture. So this paper here, which I just got, I don't know, it's got a little mark on it from delivery, I guess. But this one here is called Crescent. Let me turn it this way. Crescent Creative Products. It says no show through paper. And it says render, spelled with an R that's backwards. It says here, no show through paper. So it means you can use your alcohol markers on it. Actually, you can use all kinds of stuff. It shows that it's not going to have any bleed through whatsoever onto the next page. And it says competitor's choice. So I'm guessing any other higher paid brand out there, you know, this one here is a little cheaper, which it was. It was a little bit cheaper. This one here says drawing pad, use with all media. And it shows spray paint, chisel tip markers, like alcohol markers, pastels, looks like sticks, some sort of sticks. Could be pastel sticks, could be water, could be ink tints. I'm not for sure, but it's a stick. We got pencil, good with pencils, good with paint, and good with, I'm guessing that's going to be probably like little fine tip markers. And it says use with all media, acid and linen, I guess linen, I don't know, linen free. It's a white heavyweight paper, 110 pounds, 24 sheets. And I got the 9x12 on this one. So this is what I'm going to actually be doing the speed drawing on. And at the very end, I'll go ahead and lift up the paper. I'm not going to put anything underneath the paper. And whenever I get done, we'll lift the paper up and I'm going to see if we can see anything like come through, I guess. So that's one way to find out. So I'll do something on it, you know, something quick and easy, and see if it bleeds through on this thing. So kind of like a 2 for 2 here. We're getting some reviews. Actually, we're getting some more reviews. And also, if you're new here, I do, and I know for those of you who are here who've been with me for a little bit, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited on having you guys back. And the ones that are new, I go over some reviews. I don't do reviews all the time, but I do reviews here and there. And then I also do color pencil, charcoal. I think we've done some India ink. We've done some oil pastels. So I've done a couple oil pastels in there. Pastels, soft pastels. I do like those too. So, I mean, kind of different stuff, you know, just kind of creating art and finding out new techniques and doing new things. So, yeah, if you're new, click the like and subscribe. That definitely helps my channel, and I appreciate it so much. All right, so let's go ahead and hop on over to doing this review. All right, so we are actually going to get a little picky here. I'm going to write out, see if I can find a big enough marker or pen. This one will work. Okay, so we're going to do, so here you guys can see this fine. We're going to do Copic. And sorry with my handwriting. I am horrible at my handwriting. Okay. Copic. And then on this side, we're going to do the Ohuhu. I like that name. It's kind of a funny name. Ohuhu. Hey, there we go. Maybe that's what it is. Saying I'm here. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled these markers, and also like on the Copics, both of them on both ends will actually say like N8 neutral gray, and then I go from N8 to N6 neutral gray. These are all going to be neutral grays that I'm going to do the review on. N6 and 4 and 2, and then the odorless, did I say odorless? I don't think it was odorless. Colorless Blender. I have no clue if it has an odor. I guess that's another thing too. I will let you know if these things stink. So if they got an odor and they stink, I'll let you know. Yep, that's what I'm here for. All right, and then these, and I hope those aren't too loud. I got the microphone right here on the table with me. Okay, so these are labeled, and I figured it out. I think some people that I've heard were having issues with the numbering on the codes compared to the colors, and I finally figured it out. I really did. I actually need to reorganize my whole entire little marker tray here, because whenever I figured it out, you know, I was kind of putting them in order from blue, yellow, orange, you know, and just kind of going on with it, and then I figured it out. And I'll tell you. Okay, so we got NG. NG9. NG stands for neutral gray. Shade is 9. So this is a higher grade. It's going to be darker. We go to NG6. That means neutral gray 6. So on the color. So. And then we go, I think I skipped 7. So the NG stand for neutral gray. NG. And then as we go down, I got the 4, or the 3. So I try to get it close to this, but I'm kind of dealing with even and odds. For some reason, I have odds, and there was no evens in here. But I've got odds in my grays and my Ohuhus, and I've got evens in my Copics. So yeah, we're kind of dealing with some, they're not going to be the exact same colors basically. They're going to be a shade off, all because I'm dealing with even and odds, and I don't have the in-betweens on either set, so it's kind of weird. Okay, and then I got the Colorless Blender also in the Ohuhu. So we got 2 Colorless Blenders, not for sure how they're going to react. And the color codes on these, like, here, I'm going to show you guys an example if you guys ever get these. You have PB8. And that is actually going to be permanent blue. So, oh, PB8 would be permanent blue. I don't know why it wants to. It really wants to focus on my hand instead if I do this. Like PB8. Okay. And then it goes PB9, PB10, and then you got a BG. And that one is blue-green. It says teal on the color, but BG means blue-green. So anything that is going to be more of a blue-green, it's going to be underneath BG. Y, of course, you know what Y means yellow. And this one here is a dull yellow, but it's like yellow. Then you've got, I think I even got yellow-green or green-yellow. Green-yellow. GY, green-yellow. All your reds or your shades of reds got R for red, 23. Here we go. RP. It says vivid reddish purple. So RP, red purple. So yeah, I mean, they definitely came out with their own thing. BR. It's a type of brown, which it says raw umber. BR, brown 1. And then they got brown 2, brown 3, or BR. So yeah, that's what I figured out on their coating on the tops and bottoms of their caps. So, and they're going by colors, which is really, I mean, I would think that it would almost be the same as like Copics is into neutral. So, except that it just didn't put a G in it for neutral gray. But, anywho. Alright, so we got these down. I'm going to go ahead and start out with the Copics. I don't know, I'm a little nervous about this, you guys. Wondering how I'm going to do this. Or how they're going to act. Wonder if they're going to be nice to me or are they going to be mean. Supposedly these are supposed to be great. Like I said, I have never tried except for those on here once. That is it. I've just used them there. Alright. So this is a neutral gray 8. And I'm going to go ahead and make my little marks. 1. I mean, the tip feels really super soft. Oops. Let's do this color. This is going to be a shade under it. Neutral 6. Neutral gray 6. So we're actually going to double these up. Four. And yeah, I mean, the tip feels really smooth. It's very spongy feeling. Let's see here, neutral gray 2. Now I wonder if you can blend these. Probably everybody who knows how to use Copic is probably laughing at me right now. So what is... So if you use your blender, and it sure does look like it's turning white. Probably because I'm adding a lot of... Ooh! What? Why is it yellow? Did I use it? Oh, I know why. It ain't coming off. I decided to do a review, I think with you guys. I don't know if it was, I don't remember doing a yellow with it, but I very well could have been with you guys. I was doing a review on the the India ink markers and was wanting to see if they blend. So I know where that yellow came from. Okay, I was like thinking I was having some sort of chemical reaction. It did not get on the paper though, but it does look like it kind of bled it through. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Let me see here. We're going to try something new. Since that wasn't really blending out well, or at least smudging, not like paint. So let me try something different. Let's do a dark. Let's try and do this quick. I'm always trying to do things well. Blender. Okay, so the markers. Just like basically this blender thing, from what I can see, since I am using these for the first time, I mean, not really the first time, I guess it would be the second time, but I've never used this except for on another review on something totally different. But it looks like basically your blender brush or your blender Copic marker is going to be filled with a bunch of the same substance as the actual markers, except that it's alcohol based, so it's probably nothing but just like the alcohol stuff without the pigment basically in it, and it adds more liquid to it to where you can actually blend it a little better. Thing is, if you put too much down, it looks like it kind of washes it out because it puts too much of the alcohol, clear alcohol, into it. Now, if I went back over it, now layering up like that really looks super nice. I do like that. Let's try a little bit darker in here. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so I do like that. That blends very smoothly. Where's my darkest one? Here. Now you notice I got this really, really saturated. Very, very saturated right now. Let's try this light one. Okay, and then I'm going to do the blender. Basically loosening it on up. And then after I loosen it up, I'm going to take this lighter one of the neutral gray. Kind of go over the top of that. And it really, really makes it a lot more smoother. So yeah, I mean, it kind of blends out nicely there. Looks, and hold on, I didn't tell you guys if it stunk or not. Hold on. Huh. My little air compressor kicked on and it made a funny noise. It kind of scared me. Okay. There is a smell. I shouldn't have smelt it that close. Yeah, it's like a almost like a light rubbing alcohol smell to it. So yeah, I can definitely, it definitely does have a smell to it. And let me see. Okay, and these smell almost identical. So like a light rubbing alcohol smell. All right, so it's probably why it's called alcohol markers. All right, I feel so silly. I'm probably shouldn't be sniffing them like that. I don't know if they're non-toxic to smell or harmful or what, but if I start seeing stars, I will definitely let you guys know, because that's not going to be good. All right, so let's start out with the Ohuhus. Since we did the blending, we kind of get the idea of that. It was really a smooth, kind of rubbery kind of feel. All right, so I want my brush tip. Okay, so, oh, that's another thing. And just notice here on the fine tip, it has this little gray mark, and with the no gray mark here is where the brush tip is. So if you're looking for the brush tip, look for the part that doesn't have the gray. That's your fine tip. So it's got a little gray mark to distinguish which one it is. Also, I noticed that it's got these little thingies on it, on the lip of the edge here. And that's so that way you can place it on the table and it won't roll away. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see here, I forgot to tell you on the Copic, it looks like it also has one of these little gray markers. And it has a bee. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. You can definitely see my rough hands after working on building that, helping build the studio out there. My hands are all rough from putting up wood. It says bee right there. See? On the Copics, it's got a bee on there with a little gray mark, and that's for brush. And then on the other side, it doesn't have anything at all. And that's going to be chisel. Plus, it's got on here a little indicator for chisel, little indicator for brush. Copic is also got the little indicator for brush, and the other one that says fine. So, okay, some small little details. Let's go ahead and start. Okay, so the brush tip, I can kind of tell it's not as spongy, I would say, like a rubbery feeling. It's not like that, like as the Copic is, but it definitely has it has a very good feel. I mean, it's so super similar as far as the brush tip on it. It feels still soft, but not as spongy as this one. That makes sense. It feels like it's made of something a little bit different than this one here, but it still feels really, really nice. So that's that. Let's get that Copic out of here. Okay, now we're going to go to Neutral Gray 7. Oh, let's try this fine tip. Let's not. That is super, super fine. It will take me all day to make it block that in. Okay. So if you're wanting a fine tip, that fine tip definitely works. We're wanting to put some ink down. Okay. Very nice. Really super close between a 7 and a 9. Super close right there. These have here, you can tell how much just one, here, let's move this over. Just one shade difference between all these. So, and there's a little bit more of a difference than these two here, which are also one shade difference. We got a 9 to a, yeah, 7. So a 9 to a 7. And this one here between the Copic is a 8 to a 6. So yeah, so just difference. Well, I guess it would be 2 difference because we're going by evens and odds. But yeah, these definitely look kind of closer together. So now we're going to do the third color. still looking really, really dark. So I can tell here also that this one here kind of lines up similar. I don't know. They're all pretty dark. So there's not much difference between them either. So these 3 shades is really super close. Compared to Copics, it actually transitions. Each color seems to be a little bit lighter and lighter as it goes down. These seem to be very minute on their color changes as it breaks down. And just think, if this one here is a 9 and this one here is a 7, let me go ahead and write that in because I am 9, 7, 6. On the Copic, we got 8. Well, I wrote with the brush tip on that one. Sorry about that. 8. Here comes another brush. 6. 4. 5. Okay. So now we can kind of see the colors and how the difference is. Actually, I just wrote the wrong color there. Hold on. Ay. Let's see here. Me and my numbers. 2. Alright, so I got those out of the way. So we got here 2, 4, 6, 8, and you can definitely see the transitions. 6, 7, 9, 6. Hold on. Shouldn't have a 6. Let me see here. Oh! That could be. I got an even in my Ohuhus. So they gave me, maybe smelling some of those markers might. Let's see here. We got 9, 7, 6, and 3. Okay, so they did not give me a 5, and the Ohuhus, they gave me a 6. So this color and this color should be the same. Here, let me move that over for you guys. So 6 here, neutral gray, Ohuhu, and Copic 6 right here. So this is only going to be 1 shade difference, while this is 2 shades difference. And you can kind of tell 2 shades difference here is really not that big of a difference at all compared to 1 here. It's still about the same. So yeah, that is going to be a little bit different there. Let me go to the 3 in the Ohuhu. And of course, if you're going to go from 6 to 3, that's going to be 3 shades difference. But in all reality, it's like you kind of need to. I mean, these here just seem really, really close apart. I know that these 2 here should be kind of close anyways, but here's 2 difference, and it doesn't make it doesn't make that big of a difference at all. And then you got the lighter one here, which does. So the transitions, I like how those are. So the Copics seem to have more of a transition, or at least a better transition, even though they did not give me in the set that I have actually got. They didn't give me it. It was like a set of like 120, I would say. Like 120 markers, and this is the only neutral grays. I think these are all, yeah, these are all the neutral grays they gave me. So they gave me 4 neutral grays is all they gave me in the Copics, or in the Ohuhus, but they did give me more other grays. So it ain't just neutral gray in the 120, but they gave me like the cold grays, warm grays, and a green gray. So I do have other shades of grays in there in the set. I just only have 4 of the neutral grays. Okay, so now we're going to try blending them. So I'm going to do dark, a little lighter, and of course this 3 is going to be way out there, but still. Okay, I'm going to try using the blender, the Copic blender, or the, not Copic, Ohuhu blender, to try and blend these in. Let me try using this on this top one, just kind of see, kind of like the other one. I want to see if this one also turns it really white. It kind of is I mean, it's very much similar to what it's doing over here, except this one here made a big old circle because it had a lot coming out of it, I guess. And this one here, it's just, I mean, they're still about the same, except this one here seemed to kind of bleed and run in a circle when you add too much, and this one here is not. It's got the same kind of blending and kind of this white, like wash out kind of look to it. But it doesn't, like, it didn't do the circle thingy like up here at the Copics did. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go back over these. Except I'm going to try and do this to where it's still kind of wet. Oh, if I can do this quick. Which I don't think I'm quick enough, to be honest. I mean, no one's really going to actually want to draw super quick. And see, it's such a same colors that on the Ohuhu with the darks that you don't really get that transition very well. But if I blend them out and then use the lighter one, let's try that. This is the lightest one. Yes. So yeah, I made this one here a little bit lighter than this one here by going over it with the blender, and then it kind of washed it out a little bit, and then I was able to go back over it with a lighter color to make it a little bit lighter in the transition here. But I basically had to work with them in order to get them that way, because there wasn't, like I said, in this set, they didn't give me, they gave me more of an odd colors, like the going in odds, which would have been fine, but then they threw in one even, which threw off my grays. But I threw them off by a lot, to be honest, because if you don't have, if it would have added like a 5 instead of the 6, I probably could have got even more of a gradient kind of change in colors to be able to transition and blend smoothly. But when they threw in the 6, I kind of set it to where between the 3 and the 6 is too big of a jump between the color transition that it ended up being too light. So that is, I mean, right there, that's a little bit of a bummer on that one. I bet I could go on Ohuhu and just like go underneath their thing and order me a 2 or a 5 in the neutral gray, and it would only be like, what, $2 or $3. I mean, it really didn't cost much, probably 2 something. So I could do that, but yeah. And then on top of it, I see that the ones like the 9 and the 7, if you can see these, I mean, I don't know if the lighting's, okay, there we go. Now you can see that better. You see how much of a darker color this gray is, the 9 is to the 7. So the lids on there show that it, this one's here is darker, and it does transition to a 7, but when you do it on this paper, they're almost similar. Like this one here is just too dark for the lid color, so it didn't really match up with the lid color. This one could be a hair more lighter, so yeah, it's running a little bit darker than what the lid color shows, except for the top one. I mean, it could be a little bit, but yeah. So you definitely, on the Ohuhus, you definitely want to make a color chart, which that's another thing I forgot to mention to you guys. On the Ohuhus, let me take this out for you to see. When I bought their little set, they came with these cards. So they give you these swashes inside your sets. So you get these little swashes, and you can go ahead and just take your marker and fill in the little squares with the colors, like R9 red, 9, red 4, brown 2, yellow red 3. So they got all these on here to make swashes, which is a good thing, so that way you can kind of see what the color looks like instead of having to what it looks like on paper, which I don't know what type of paper they use on these, but I'm kind of figuring it's not like this paper, like the marker paper that they do sell, but it is a different type of paper. Not for sure if it's a watercolor paper or what it is, but it kind of gives you an idea of what these colors look like. And yeah, and then they have them spaced out kind of differently too. You can see I got the 120 color marker set, and this is color swash 1 and 2 of them. They gave me 2 of them, and so I mean, that was really super nice. I mean, to have this to come with it. But in comparison, I mean, other than the colors being just a little bit like they're grays, the only thing is that you might be able to incorporate, maybe with your neutral gray 3, and you're wanting to get something a little closer, you could do a cold gray 2 and be a little bit lighter. Or you could even do, they got a cold gray 00, which is even lighter, and a cold gray 4 could be the transition between the 3 over here. So you could use a cold gray maybe in its place to be able to transition between these colors. So it looks to me like not all is lost, just because it's a little off there. But yeah, it's one of the little reviews though. And then as far as their paper goes, of course, I'm already not surprised to see that here that the paper is definitely been bled through like crazy on the other side. So yeah, we got a lot of bleeding through, but they already knew that, and they already kind of let you know anyway ahead of time. And they went ahead and of course gave us this little piece of paper, or a little piece of plastic, little rubbery plastic, to put in between your pages. And my next page is nice and dry, so there's nothing on the other page. Plus that, they got the perforated line right here, so you can easily tear them out if you're wanting to. So kind of cool. So in all, from trying out these markers, which I'm super excited because I have all these different colors, I am not completely disappointed, because the same kind of concept between this one and this one is very, very similar. They're alcohol markers. They both work like alcohol markers, so they both seem to work the same kind of thing. I mean, except for the blender on this one here compared to the Copic seems to be a little bit more, I don't know, like it puts out maybe more alcohol out of it. I don't know, because this one here seemed really wet too when I was applying it, but it didn't like make all the color kind of bleed out like that. Instead it just kind of did this, and I went over it quite a bit. So not for sure, unless this one was still wetter than this one here that I had, and that could have been the reason why. But other than that, the way I was using the brush, it's felt nice. So I would say, so far from the comparison between the two, I would use them together. It wouldn't hurt nothing. So with having all these grays that I got here, I could actually use them together and shouldn't tell the difference at all. Maybe their colors are a little bit off, or you know, not off, but it's just that 9 and 7 I think that got me, was that they're just so close together. I can understand 7 and 6 being close, but 9 and 7 is just a little bit too close. But that's just me being picky. Other than that, with the price range compared to the Copic, anything just a little bit cheaper would be better for me, because like I said, I can't sell them. I would just have to make prints, and spending all that money on something like that is just, wow. I don't know. They aren't made, I mean, they're made nice. I mean, the brush is super nice, but it's not that nice. It's nice, but it's not the price range nice. That's just, I don't know. That's my take on it. That's my opinion. Having something just a little bit cheaper, but yet works very much similar, I would definitely go with the Ohuhus. I think they are super nice, and I can't wait to actually do a little artwork with them. So that's what I'll be working on. And if you guys have any comments or anything like that, like maybe something that you want me to review, or maybe ask me if I have this and could I review it, I most certainly could. So that would be a lot of fun. I love doing that. So yeah, just leave a comment below. Just let me know what you think. Anything you want me to show you, maybe on a review, I can do that next time. I'm not quite for sure what what the next project is going to be. Did get me an airbrush, so I was kind of practicing some airbrushing. So that is a new thing for me. Definitely would like to see if you guys are interested in any of that, like maybe doing some little airbrush work, whether it's like, you know, I bought the airbrush because I was like, okay, I'd really like to use it for doing like backgrounds and then doing color pencil, you know, on top, or kind of like using it in mixed media, or doing like a little bit of airbrushing with the acrylics and then putting maybe oil paints on top of it or acrylics on top of it, but just kind of giving that, you know, little bit of a softer, more background look, or at least even a kind of one of those out of focus looks are kind of cute too. And that would be really easy to use and incorporate in the artwork. So I've been kind of experimenting with that, but it's going to take some practice on it, definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and do the little speed drawing. And like I said, if you guys, any of you guys who are new, go ahead and please click the like and subscribe. Definitely the like button. That would definitely help me out on YouTube and gets me out there, so that way everybody can see me and know that I'm here. And Alright, so let's go ahead and hop on over to the speed drawing. Or speed painting.